Am I the wrong one for going no contact with my parents after learning they had lied to me about my allergies all my life? Hey everyone. I am 19 years old and my parents are in their 50s. For as long as I can remember, I have been allergic to several things. Dairy, wheat/flour/gluten, legumes. Since I was a young child, my parents have completely kept all of them out of our house. While other kids ate breakfast cereals, I ate fish and assorted pickled vegetables for breakfast. While other kids had Lunchables, I had grilled chicken or fish with, again, assorted vegetables, usually sweet potatoes. While other kids ate birthday cake at the birthday party, I had an apple. I never questioned this until a couple of months ago. I was at my aunt's house for my birthday party, and she made brownies for everyone. For me, she took great steps to make them with almond flour and avoided all of my allergies. I started eating them and thought little of it until my aunt suddenly looked at me and, in a panicked way, asked which plate I took the brownies from. I pointed from the one where I got my brownies, and she immediately stood up and told me we had to get my EpiPen. She raced to ask my mother for it, and I sat there scared out of my mind because I had never mistakenly eaten flour before. I noticed my mother had calmed her down, and then she said that we don't have to worry because she had switched the plates of brownies, and after all I had eaten the ones made with almond flour. I found this incredibly odd because, really, why would she swap the plates? That doesn't even make sense. But for the time being I let the issue rest. It didn't sit well with me for about a week and I finally went to get an allergy test. The doctor started with a skin prick test, and lo and behold, I didn't react to any of the above substances. Then he ordered a blood test, and when the results came in, they said that I had absolutely no intolerance to any of the foods I'm supposed to be allergic to. I was furious and called my mother. She eventually admitted that she lied to me because she wanted me to be on a Paleolithic diet, and wanted me to be able to avoid all temptations. She raised me with a lie about her own health, but she keeps insisting that I try to see it from her perspective. She spams my phone with messages about how healthy I am, that I never had acne, that I have been in great shape my whole life, that I have strong teeth and bones, and even that I got onto a D1 college tennis team. She has started calling me ungrateful for her intervention and insisting that I really should be glad I never got carb addicted. I don't know what to think. I carried around an EpiPen for all those years, one that I suspect may be fake seeing as my mother never got me to replace it and I don't even know anymore. Am I the a-hole and an ungrateful son for losing it over this? Not the wrong one. You spent your entire life thinking that you could easily die because your mom wanted you on a special diet. Allergies are incredibly serious and while you can grow out of them, to be lied to is unnecessary. What your mom did was manipulative and poor parenting. She easily could have had you on a diet like that without lying and making you fear for your life. Not the wrong one. Also, tell your aunt about your mom's lie. She should know that your mom made her put in extra effort for who knows how many times, and caused her to go into a panic about you potentially having an allergic reaction, when in reality your mom had lied about your allergies. I feel bad your aunt went through that. What your mom did was so terrible. She needs to face the consequences for her actions. Cut contact until she understands just how bad her actions were. Am I the wrong one for reminding my husband's female friend that my husband is my husband, and not hers? Update has been posted at the bottom. My husband Jake and I have been together for 6 years, and he has been friends with Carly for 2 years longer than that. I suspect that Carly has feelings for Jake, but he has never had feelings for her. I've never been thrilled about their friendship, but I trust my husband and have total confidence that he would never cheat. A year ago, Carly moved into our neighborhood. She lives alone, and she picked up the habit of asking Jake to help her with housework and maintenance. When her water heater broke, she called Jake. When she needed help setting up a TV, she called Jake. When her trees needed trimming, she called Jake. Etc., etc. You get the idea. Jake and Carly also work near each other downtown, and a few days a week she'll ask him for a ride to work when she doesn't feel like driving. She's also started dropping by her house unannounced, usually when she's having a bad day and wants to vent to Jake about it. She relies on him heavily for emotional support 24/7. While I've tried to be patient and respectful of my husband's friendship with her, I have become less and less tolerant of Carly in the past few months as I feel she's become a constant presence in our marriage. The final straw came yesterday. As a medical worker, I've been pulling insanely long hours at the hospital. Yesterday I finally had a day off and I was very excited to spend some time with Jake. Just after breakfast, he received a text from Carly asking if he can help her move some furniture around because she decided to redecorate. He told her he can't because it's my day off and we're spending the day together. She then calls him and explains that it shouldn't take more than an hour, and her living room is a mess and she really could use his help getting things in order. At this point, I snapped. I took the phone and told her that Jake had said no and she needs to respect that he wants to spend time with me, his wife. When she started to argue, I said, "I'm sorry, Carly, but I think it's time for you to find your own husband," and hung up. Jake was shocked and thought that I was far too harsh. He thinks that I should have some compassion and said, "How would you feel if you were 35 and alone and without many friends?" I feel sorry for her. At that, I questioned whether or not I was actually in the wrong here. Reddit, am I the wrong one? Edit, you all are right. I should not have included a description of Carly's physical appearance. It's not relevant to the story. Update. Jake and I drank some wine and had a long talk about Carly. We both apologized. I said I was sorry for making a harsh comment to Carly, and he apologized for making me feel like he sometimes prioritizes her needs over mine. He said I will always be his #1 priority, and moving forward he will make that extra clear to Carly. He said that he should have set boundaries long ago and that Carly needs to learn to be less dependent on him. After that, we drank more wine and went through the comments on this post. We had a lot of laughs, plenty of things we agreed and disagreed with, and a lot of eye rolls. Reddit, you never fail to entertain. Special shout out to you/1000 lives off magic and you/pale hero. We enjoyed your comments the most. After further discussion, Jake decided to give Carly a call. I apologized for my comment, and then I gave the phone to Jake and left the room so they could talk. I didn't hear the conversation, but according to Jake it did not go well. Carly was upset and defensive when Jake told her she was in the wrong for arguing after he and I had both told her no about the furniture moving issue. She didn't think she had crossed any lines and she told Jake that I was being too sensitive, controlling, and that I'm trying to end their friendship. Jake defended me and said it was his own idea to set boundaries and that I've never told him to stop being friends with her. They were both upset when the conversation ended. If either of us hear from her in the upcoming days, I'll post another update. Thank you all for your thoughtful comments and insight. We sincerely appreciate it, except for those of you who commented that Jake must be cheating on me. Y'all are the biggest a-holes here. For the record, after reading the comments, Jake and I would both vote everyone is wrong here on my post. Everyone is wrong here. You don't have a Carly problem. You have a Jake problem. You're the a-hole for not seeing that and mainly blaming Carly, also for insulting her appearance for no reason. She's the a-hole for being so pushy, stopping by unannounced, etc. The biggest a-hole here is Jake for not setting proper boundaries with Carly. Your issues are inside your marriage, not outside of it. Deal with that. Edit. OP edited her post. If you want to see what she said about Carly's appearance, look at the auto-mod copy of the post, link 1 in description. Am I the wrong one _for reminding _my husband's _female friend _that/fmpjx4l/. Edit 2. Well, this blew up. Everyone is wrong here. She sucks because she is lonely, but needs to find more friends instead of latching onto Jake. Jake sucks because he should have set boundaries a long time ago, and you suck because you just have to make a dig about her appearance and wait even though it has nothing to do with the story. Am I the wrong one for refusing to share a room with a 1-year-old, twin 2-years-olds and a 4-years-old? So F18 was recently invited up to my aunt and uncle's, I'll call them Aunt and Uncle B, ranch house for the 4th of July, and told I could bring a friend. Now, this aunt and uncle have a pretty big house. Their ranch house has 4 bedrooms with queen beds, the master bedroom, and the kids' room, which is a massive room with about 6 beds, some bunked, and a loft. They've got a lot of land around the house too. So I was excited to get some time to goof off and run around with my friend, also F18. I know that other cousins are going to be there, and assume that my Aunt B and Uncle B thought beds through and everything like that. The other people invited up to the house were Aunt G and Uncle G and their son M16, who I'll call F, my Uncle P, and my Aunt and Uncle H. H's are baby cannons. They have 4 kids under the age of 5, none of whom sleep through the night. I've been to their house before, it's horrible. Anyway, my friend and I get up to the house and learn that we are expected to share the big bunk room with the kids under 5, while their parents get their own room. Uncle P, Cousin F, and Aunt and Uncle G, are also in their own rooms. G shared one. I was upset, but, wanting to stay up there, I said okay, my friend and I can sleep on the couch. Cue a massive explosion. The baby cannons are pissed that I don't want to sleep in the same room as their children. Their kids are horrible at night, and someone needs to watch them. So it should be me and my friend because I got to invite a friend. I said that if they wanted someone to, Cousin F could, but Cousin F apparently needed his sleep because he's a growing boy and he doesn't know how to take care of kids. None of the other people in the house wanted to get involved. The aunt and uncle who own the house didn't care much and just told us to figure it out. So I ignored the baby cannons and sat up on the couch with my friend. Cue the baby cannon's mother. She throws all of our stuff off of the couches and tells me and my friend that we have to sleep with her kids or we can't stay. At this point, I'm mortified by her behavior because I have a friend. My friend is embarrassed and doesn't know what to do, so I tell them I am leaving. Cue more screaming. I drove up my father's boat. If I leave, there's nobody with a truck to drive the boat around. The world is ending. I say that either my friend and I are sleeping on the couch, without the small children, or we're leaving. Well, baby cannons weren't okay with that. So, I packed up my stuff, reattached the trailer for the boat, and left. Now I'm getting texts from relatives that I was rude and could have handled it better, and that the baby cannons need a break from their kids and I'm young so I can be a nice family member and deal with it for them. Am I the wrong one here? Update 7.1. My father has banned the baby cannon from ever going on the boat again. Aunt B is getting involved and is considering asking the baby cannon family to leave for the weekend and to not come back until they can be more considerate of relatives. Uncle B is offering to pay for me and my friend to go on a backpacking trip. My friend and I go a lot, and says that he feels bad for how the baby cannons acted. Not the wrong one. They should be sharing the room with their own children. They shouldn't be expecting you and your friend, who is presumably a stranger to them, to do it. Not the wrong one. You aunt and uncle B invited you. They should have sorted out the room assignments, not left it to the baby cannons. Apparently they only invited you to get access to the boat. She throws all of our stuff off of the couches and tells me and my friend that we have to sleep with her kids or we can't stay. And someone is seriously calling you rude? The hosts didn't step up so you left. What do your parents say? Am I the wrong one for not telling my ex I got pregnant? I, 28 years old female, was with my ex-husband for about 6 years. During this time, we were trying for a baby, but had no success. About 4 years into our marriage had a rough patch. My ex had stress at work and slept with his coworker to relieve it. He confessed to me rather quick and a week later, they sat me down and told me they were expecting a child. I was an idiot back then and so I felt like I should forgive him because I truly believed he loved me and I thought I had no one. It wasn't. My ex's family treated me like their own. But my ex's supposed daughter was the apple of their eye. As a result of that, my ex's coworker was frequent presence in our lives. They felt like they had to include the mom of their grandchild for everything too and she made her way in every family picture and memory. It didn't help that I suspected that the coworker had feelings for my ex and flirted with him when she can. People thought that she was my ex's wife constantly and I finally had enough when during the baby girl's first birthday party when I was told to take a picture of my ex, his mistress, his daughter, and his parents and it didn't include me. It hit me that I was now treated as the other woman and I realized that I deserved more than this bullcrap. I filed for divorce a few months later and left. It was the hardest time of my life, but I ended up getting a promotion at work and met this sweet, wonderful guy. Fast forward to now, me and my boyfriend are madly in love and I gave birth to an adorable baby girl that I considered a miracle baby. I got pregnant with my boyfriend like 3 months after dating him and I thought that it was strange that this could happen since my previous failed attempts with ex and had thought that I was the infertile one. It crossed my mind then that maybe he was the infertile one and he only believed mistress was pregnant with his child because they were having an affair. I didn't say anything though because it was not my place anymore. However, my boyfriend was so happy about my daughter's birth and posted it on Facebook and tagged me in the post. I was still friends with my ex still on FB and she saw the post. She called me up and said that she was hurt that I didn't let her know that I could actually get pregnant and the lack of child during my first marriage could be my ex's fault. He took a paternity test. The poor baby girl was never my ex's. The co-worker apparently was dating this terrible guy during the time she slept with my ex and didn't know who the child's father was so she just strung my ex along cause she had feelings for him and thought he'd be the best father for her child. Now my ex blames me for not telling him that I was pregnant way before and him having to father this girl. He's doing pretty bad now and I can't help but feel guilty like I should have told him. Edit. I didn't realize that I could edit my post even after the 3,000 character limit. Okay, so first of all, I keep seeing that people have seen other posts like mine and some YouTube video? Question mark. If so, I'm upset that others have had similar situations as me and that some people find the situation so hilarious that they make a video out of it. I've also never posted on Reddit before. I had a previous account for browsing not posting. I don't think I have to prove my story and I honestly posted this not to seek validation that my ex supposedly is the worst ever, but to gain perspective since my ex and his family were my family and close confidants for a large period of my life. We were pretty close and I had promised to keep in touch after the divorce, which they were super upset about, but I really couldn't after everything that happened between us. They're now super pissed at me for the divorce and for being complicit in my ex taking on the expenses of his not daughter and forming a paternal connection with her for longer than he should have. Edit. So here's what's been happening right now. I haven't spoken to them after this and have been avoiding my ex's calls. He texted me saying that he is sorry and overreacted and felt guilty about prioritizing people who were never really family over me. I only replied with asking how his daughter is because even though she isn't biologically his, she's still his girl. She seems like an adorable kiddo and adores her dad. Frown. My ex's mistress is able to support the girl financially, so my ex won't contribute to that. But he says that he's still going to see her every month because he feels morally obligated to. I feel bad for the girl so much because she seems to have lost her family unit, dad, grandparents, cousins. Not the wrong one. First of all, what the F? Your ex cheats on you and blames you for him taking on fatherhood for a child that is not his. What a? I am not going to say it, because this comment will be removed. Sorry, no rough patch justifies cheating. He should have taken up counseling. He screwed her, he cheated, he should have considered the possibility that she is freaking other guys, too. The only one he can blame is the woman who forced the child onto him and himself. Don't feel bad, you don't need to be mad at your ex, but you sure as hell need to grow up and be mad at the audacity that he is trying to make you the bad one here. It's great you still get along with your ex's family, but ma dude, he made his bed, cheating with his coworker, who was already in bed with another man. Now he can lie in it and take care of alimony suits or whatever his plan is. I hope he can figure out something, because that child considers him her dad already. But hell, that woman stole years from him. Edit. Wow, thanks kind stranger, for the gold. I am a sporadic user on Reddit, so I haven't quite figured out the awards yet. But I did not expect this to go through the roof like it did. I try to comment, like I would comment on a friend's problem they confide in me. Thanks again. And also want to make clear, yeah, the last sentence was a bit hard to understand. I do still think it was entirely X's fault and he got all he deserved and more. However, I also see another issue here, the fact of slipping another human being a fast one, in this case a baby, and playing on their good faith, suggesting it is their child. X was at least decent enough to take on responsibility for the child he thought was his. He played OP and got played in turn. This is AF Fest and the child is the only one losing here. Not the wrong one. Sucks to be him. He cheated on you and got conned. You're under no obligation to give them information. Am I the wrong one for kicking out a girl from my daughter's sleepover b-day party? My 34 years old male daughter, 14 years old female, had a sleepover b-day party last Saturday, and she invited 5 girls from her school. There was this one girl that she invited who I could tell from her attitude, was a spoiled brat. When she rang the doorbell, she walked in looking down at her phone, didn't greet me or my wife, and handed me her jacket without even looking up. The whole night she was on her phone doing whatever the heck 14-year-olds do on phones. I thought she was just embarrassed or shy because maybe she didn't know anyone, but according to my daughter, she is a super duper cool girl. Anyways, towards the end of the night, my daughter was opening her gifts. SB made a comment about every single gift. Not exactly snarky, but more like she was just unimpressed. The final gift was from me and my wife. We bought her an iPhone 7 by pooling all of our remaining extra money to buy her it. The SB scoffed because she had the newest gen iPhone. I helped my daughter set up the phone with a SIM card, and the rest of the night they just hung out in her room. My daughter came down a bit later and she was just sitting on the couch. I asked her what was wrong and she just went back up while saying, "Why couldn't you have just bought me the newest iPhone?" That was really out of character for her, as she is always grateful for receiving anything. My daughter left the phone on the table. I grabbed my daughter's phone to see a bunch of texts going back and forth between SB and my daughter. They exchanged numbers and the convo went something like this. "D hey, it's me. SB, thanks for inviting me to our lame slumber party lol. And congrats on the iPhone 7 haha. D what? SB, aren't you mad that her parents and friends got you such lame gifts? SB, slumber parties are for little girls lol. But WTVS, it's cool. D, you don't like the party? SB, you wish I could go home lol. /end. It was around 1 a.m. and the girls were still up talking. I knocked and asked if I could speak with SB. She looked confused. I told her she needs to grab her things, something came up. I did this as to not embarrass my daughter in front of her friends. I took her downstairs and asked her to call her mom. She asked why and I said because that's what you said, right? That you wish you could go home? So go. She was tearing up a bit, and made the call. I talked with her mom for a bit when she came. I showed her the texts and she apologized profusely and said it's just a teenager phase I guess. I'm so sorry, but don't you think she could stay? If not, I understand. I thought Abbott for a bit, but her staying probably would have made it awkward for everyone, so I told her it was best if they just left. My wife said that I overreacted, and I should have just talked with SB rather than immediately kick her out. I firmly believe I taught her a good lesson that she needed to learn. It was my daughter's B-day, and I didn't want the rest of her night ruined because of some spoiled brat who was making it all about her. I guess she didn't exactly do anything wrong, but at the same time her attitude was unbelievable. Am I the wrong one? Not the wrong one. How does your daughter feel about it though? Not the wrong one. An actual hero. That self-entitled brat needed someone to hold her accountable for being a bully. In time your daughter will understand this. Am I the wrong one for not letting my cousin experience motherhood? I have a cousin by marriage, husband's cousin, that's 22 and dying of cancer. It was always her dream to marry and be a mom, and now that's not going to happen. It's hard on everyone. She has a much older fiancé, 30, and they had a symbolic wedding so she could have the experience. They started looking for ways to get access to a baby that she could take care of and experience some level of child care that way, but with 2020 and ethics in general, there's not a lot of ways to do that safely. My husband and I have the first and so far only children of our generation, who are 10 months and 23 months old. I had hopes that it wouldn't happen, but her parents asked me if they could borrow my younger baby for a few weeks. The cousin and her fiancé would basically be play acting having a baby. Her parents would also join in on pretending. There would be photo shoots and everything. This makes me really uncomfortable. It's really creepy. I cannot understate how creepy I think this is. I know that her not getting to live her dreams is sad, but I don't think this is the answer. I'm worried it will be traumatic for my baby. She's almost a year old and will, well, notice that her entire family will just vanish overnight for what will seem like forever. She's also still nursing, and they don't really seem to care about this factor. I'm really worried about problems down the road. This is setting a dangerous precedent of my child living under other guardianship. Her parents will have time to get attached and they could try to use that for familial pressure if not legally. Her fiancé is also a wild card in that regard. I said no, and my husband's entire family is hounding us about this because her time is running out and it's time sensitive. They say we're being selfish. They say that we could use this as a free vacation and bond with our older child because I popped them out so close together. They want to compromise now by letting me come by a few times a day to bring milk. We still don't want to do this. Am I the wrong one? Also. Yesterday afternoon, we got an email from the cousin's parents offering actual dollar amounts for us to agree. We got enough from that to file a police report and at least get the threat in writing. We also had a call with my husband's parents and his siblings to basically clear the air. Apparently what they were telling people they asked for and what they were actually asking for were very different. Everyone on that call now had them blocked on social media except for Mil, because of the cousin. You are never the a-hole for not loaning your baby for a 3-week make-believe photo shoot. What your cousin is going through is tragic, but this is insane. Hard no and never feel guilty about this. Not the wrong one. Not the wrong one. You are right in protecting your child from a situation that could lead to abandonment issues. Though info, how could they use them watching the child for a few weeks for familial pressure and even legally? Thank you all for listening. Have a great day. See you later.